Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. I'm here to tell you about this beautiful 2015 Q50 Hybrid Sport that we have for sale. This is a rear-wheel drive model, which is a little bit more rare in our part of the our neck of the woods. Most Infiniti Q50s around here are all-wheel drive, but I'll go into why someone might prefer rear-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive. This is an off-lease vehicle we acquired from Infiniti Financial Services. It came off lease. The person who leased it only put 12,412 miles on it over a 39-month lease. Most people have averaged 10, 12, 15,000 miles a year. The lowest miles you can go on a lease with Infiniti is 10,000 miles a year. So the poor person who bought this one didn't really use that many miles. Usually you can buy your leases out. If I only put so many miles on this, such low miles, I'd probably want to buy it out, but maybe they needed a different vehicle, they're ready for something else. One owner, clean Carfax, Infiniti certified pre-owned, so you get all the benefits you normally get with new Infiniti. You can only get a certified Infiniti from a new Infiniti store like us, serviced and checked by our Infiniti certified techs. This is a sport model, so you get a lot of great features of the sport package: extra bolstering to hold you in place during performance driving, steering wheel paddle shifters, of course a lot of other great features which I'll get into as we move towards the outside of the vehicle. This one is also a deluxe touring package, so you get this upgraded wood interior trim and a lot of other great features, and it has a technology package, so you get all the cool safety features that Infiniti has to offer. You have adaptive cruise control, you have lane departure warning, lane departure prevention, blind spot warning, blind spot prevention, forward collision warning, forward emergency braking. The list of features goes on and on. Adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist that has direct adaptive steering, so there's no normal connection to the front wheels like you have on a regular vehicle, which has a steering rack. This has motors and a computer system that controls the steering. The reason why they do that, it allows you to take a lot of control over the steering. It can also filter out unwanted feedback. Sometimes when you go over a pothole or rut in the road, it might jerk the wheel, but with a direct adaptive steering, since there's no mechanical connection, that gets filtered out, so it only filters in the information that you want to know. And you can take control over the steering. You can have a very fast and heavy steering ratio like a high performance sports car, or you can have a slower, a lighter steering feel like a luxury car. Pretty cool stuff. And you have a drive mode selector right here that can change the traction stability control settings, transmission shift points, direct adaptive steering settings, and of course you can personalize it as well. We have a dual display system. The top screen is for the navigation and parking camera. This one is missing the SD card. We just have to get one for you. The bottom screen is a tablet-like interface for vehicle settings and apps. Heated front seats, automatic dimming mirror, all sorts of great features. And this is a rare color combination. It has a light interior color. Most of the black Q50s have a graphite interior, so if you like a lighter interior color, this one is a little bit more of a rare find. So the sport package, you get a sport tuned suspension, you get these 19-inch sport wheels, larger brakes for performance driving. This one is also a hybrid model, which is a really cool feature on the Q50. 2019, I believe, was the last year for the hybrid. It had an excellent run. Unfortunately, they don't sell that great on the new market. But luckily in the pre-owned market, they actually sell pretty well. So I'm also the buyer and pre-owned manager for Infiniti of Tacoma. So anytime I can get my hands on a Q50 hybrid, I snap it up because they always sell, and it is a great product. And it's a great alternative if you're maybe considering like a newer Red Sport Infiniti, but it's a little bit out of your price point. You'd actually be really impressed by what you get for your money with the hybrid. This hybrid system was originally developed in 2011. On the M35H, so it's a very proven hybrid system. It's been used for a lot of years. It's not something new. So definitely when you have a complex hybrid system, you don't want to have the first run. You want to make sure that they work all the kinks out, and by 2015 they certainly did. And the hybrid system was pretty much the same all the way up till 2018, 2019 when they discontinued it. The battery pack is in the trunk, so sometimes you have to make concessions to make space for a battery. Obviously in a sedan, there's not too many places to put the battery, so they put it between the trunk and the rear seats. When you have SUVs and larger vehicles, you can put the batteries like in the floor or at other places, but it's a little bit limited on sedans. Luckily, Infiniti was ahead of the curve. They used a lithium-ion battery pack for their hybrid system, so it saves a lot of space but does provide a lot of power. And with the Q50H, it is not a plug-in hybrid. You don't need to plug it in to charge the batteries. The batteries charge off the engine when it's running, and it also charges by regenerative braking. Regenerative braking is pretty cool. It's used in a lot of hybrid vehicles. And the cool thing about electric motors, when you run them in the opposite direction, it turns into a generator. So when you lightly hit the brakes, it actually runs the electric motor backwards, which causes resistance, similar to engine braking when you put your vehicle in a lower gear. So that slows the vehicle down, and it also charges the battery pack. And another benefit from the regenerative braking, since you're slowing the vehicle down off the electric motor, you're not using the actual brakes as much, so you get a lot longer life out of your brakes. I have a Prius, I actually have two Priuses. I'm a pretty big hybrid fan. One of my Priuses has 90,000 miles on it. I've had it since 20,000 miles. I've never had to do brakes on it. Usually most people get 130, 140,000 miles out of brakes from a Prius. I think that will probably be the case for this one. You'd probably get at least 80, 90,000 miles out of the brakes. And it also depends on how you drive. If you're really hard, performance driver, obviously you're gonna go through brakes a lot quicker. The engine that they use for the hybrid is the award-winning VQ35 engine. It's a fantastic engine. They've used it for many years. It's been used in a lot of Nissan and Infiniti products. They still use it to this day in 2020 Infiniti products. I've seen many variations of these engines come in on Trader for service with 200,000-300,000 miles still running strong. So it's a great engine to pair to that hybrid system. They pair that to an electric traction motor that makes about 60 horsepower. So that gives you a combined output of 360 horsepower. So even though this is a hybrid, it's also a high-performance vehicle. A lot of people drive these things and aren't expecting them to be as fast as they are. It really is a quick vehicle, but it also can get about 30 miles per gallon and more on the highway. So you get the best of both worlds. It's very fast. It's faster than a regular 3.7 equipped Q50, but it's also a lot more fuel efficient. Going back to the Sport package, they give you a more aggressive looking front fascia of the Sport package. And being rear-wheel drive. So the rear-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive. Obviously, if you drive in the snow, all-wheel drive is probably going to be preferable versus rear-wheel drive. But if you don't, you live in the Puget Sound area, it has a great traction stability control system, you'll probably do fine. You will do fine with rear-wheel drive. Obviously, your wet weather performance is going to suffer a little bit versus all-wheel drive, but in the dry, this thing really is a quick vehicle. You also save weight. The hybrid system weighs, not the hybrid system. The all-wheel drive system weighs about 200 pounds, so it's going to be lighter, and it's also going to have a little bit lower ride height. The all-wheel drive equipped Q50s, they sit about a ½ inch or so higher than the rear-wheel drive vehicles. So the rear-wheel drives have a little bit lower stance, a little bit lower center of gravity, which will help a little bit with the handling and feel of the Q50. So going back to the hybrid system, with a powerful electric traction motor that makes 60 horsepower, it actually can travel pretty fast just under electric power alone. Going back to my Prius, I can maybe go about 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour if I'm lucky, just on electric power, because the electric motor is so small. This, since it has a larger electric motor, it can travel up to speeds of about 60 miles an hour just under electric power alone. And with that lithium-ion battery pack, it can travel up to about a mile just under electric power. So this is a car that lets you have your cake and eat it too. You can reap the benefits of a great hybrid system that delivers awesome fuel economy, but you also get better performance than you get with a normal 3.7 liter equipped V6 Q50, which was the only other option you had for an engine in 2015. Thanks so much for taking the time today to watch this video. Please contact us with any questions. We'd love to see you, and thanks so much for watching this video.